고기가 낮아버려. 아, 이거 고기 잡았잖아. 저 아줌마들 뭐 잡는 거야? 고기 잡나? 조개.
Hello, my wonderful people. I decided we should talk a little bit more now that I'm back from Jeju. And because the last time I did something like that, or the real last time I did it at the ocean, at the beach, and I felt really silly, so now we're going to do it here, so I don't feel as silly, because no one can see me. Not really. So yeah, I am back in Busan after my little trip to Jeju with my mom and my sis. Jeju was wonderful. It is a beautiful island. It has some beautiful beaches. There's a lot of beautiful nature, and Jeju is made of a lot of I want to say volcans, but those are the people from Star Trek, I think. Or is it the same? Because in German it's Vulkane. Volcanoes! That's the word I was looking for. So there's a lot of volcanoes, which are, as far as I know, inactive, and we wanted to go up one of them. But, well, yeah, let's start like this. So if you want to go to Jeju and you want to go hiking, you have to look at the time, because all of the hiking tracks have like a close-off time. So when they think that you will need around 5 hours for the whole track, you will have to be there before, I think, around about 12 p.m. Well, midday, because they close the tracks so that everyone will be back before sunset, so that there's no one left on the hiking trails. We didn't know that, so the first trail we wanted to go to was closed, so we went to another one which was still open, because you didn't need that much time to finish that. But to be honest, well, I didn't get to the top because there were only stairs, and I am not used to mountains or that many stairs, so I couldn't climb to the top. But it was fine. It was still a very beautiful hike, and it was the first time that I realized that it's fall, because the trees turned really pretty red, as you have seen in the vlogs. So yeah, and you might be able to hear my I can walk walk for miles, but once there's a mountain, I am not fit enough. But that's fine. Yeah. Then one time, as you might have seen, we went to look at some really special caves because yes, Jeju is a beautiful island, but Jeju also has a very deep history, very tragic history. So those caves were made by Japanese soldiers to ambush the fleets that were coming. So yeah, there's also, you can also see places where or a big place where a massacre happened. And yeah, if you take a look at Korea and its history, I think we are not, at least in Germany, I don't think we were taught that much, but I looked into it, and yeah, it's because it was the same time the Germans were horrible monsters. We only talk about our past and not what really happened around the world at the same time, which is kind of sad because, yeah. Let's not get too deep into that because I am not a historian and I don't want to get everyone down, but you should look into it. It's really, it's something we should talk about because it gets swept under the rug a lot of times. So yeah, back to the good things. So on Jeju, something that was quite interesting for me was, of course there's a lot of people hiking because yeah, that's the thing people do, and that's kind of the national sport here in Korea. So we met a lot of people while hiking, and every time they look at you and they see that you're a foreigner, a lot of them smile and they're quite happy that you're there, and when you then say 안녕하세요, they're even more happy. So it was a lot of fun, and we met a lot of people came to us and asked us, where are you from, what are you doing here, things like that. So they were really open and really nice. And again, we had an interesting meeting with someone while we were on a normal walk, not a hike. We were just walking to a beach. We came to a restaurant and the owner saw us, and at first he apparently thought we were Korean, and then he realized we weren't, and then he talked to us. So we were talking in a mixture between Korean, so I got to practice a little bit, and English. And it was, oh, he was so lovely. So we made another friend. That was, yeah, that was really fun. And also Jeju doesn't have a lot of, or it does have public transportation, but mostly it's only buses. And one time we were waiting for the bus and the bus was late. And the bus was late like a lot, so one of them probably didn't come at all, so we were missing at least one bus. And this older lady was so pissed. It was so funny because she kept talking to us in Korean really fast, although she realized we don't understand. But she was so pissed off that the bus didn't come, and we were like, yeah, that's normal in Germany. Sometimes you want to go to work and the train doesn't come. But we couldn't tell her. She just kept talking, and then someone else came and she started to rant to him, and he had to call the bus thing, whatever it is, and tell them, well, the bus isn't coming and the thing isn't working. And it was wonderful. It was, and they were not angry at us, not in one, but I think at one point she even said, well, what are these foreigners going to think about us now that the bus isn't coming? Because I could understand the word foreigner, and I don't think she was angry at us. She was like, what are they going to think when the bus isn't coming and they're waiting here? And yeah, that was that was also really fun and something we will remember. But at a certain point we realized it would be easier to just take taxis. So I downloaded the Kakao Taxi app and it works. I thought it wouldn't work, but it does. And I even verified it with my German phone number. So this is a big tip for everyone, because now you have a taxi app like any other taxi app, you know, but you can pick your destination, and the driver will know from where to pick you up and where to go, and you don't have to tell them, because telling Korean taxi drivers where to go is sometimes tricky. Because it's hard to tell them where you want to go, and you can't really do it in English a lot of times. It depends on where you are probably, but on Jeju it wouldn't have worked. And if you have your destination, here's the big tip: you need to have it written down in Hangul, so in Korean, because the way we read it with the Roman letters, they don't know where that is, and they can't put it into their navigation, which is sometimes a problem if you want to find something on Naver app yourself, because you can't just type in the English version of the word, because Naver maps won't find it. So, for example, I had to go to the post office, so I looked up what post office or just post means in Korean. I typed that in Hangul, and then I was able to find all the post office near me. So yeah, you should have your destination written down in Hangul if you have a specific destination, like your hotel or anything like that. If you just want to go to somewhere, like I want to go to Itaewon, then you probably can just say that and it's fine. Or you want to go to Haeundae here, like the beach, that's fine. But if you have a specific destination where you want to go, then it's better if you have written it down in Hangul, or you use the app. Which doesn't work if you're like coming from the airport or something. Well, if you come from the airport and you're going to be picked up there by a taxi, you don't use the app, you just take the next taxi. So yeah, big tip, have it written down in Hangul. Something else, because as I said, we've used a taxi because it seems to be quite hard getting a rental car here. The camera just decided to cut me off. So yeah, my mom and sis wanted to go by car back to Seoul, and it's impossible to get a car. And we don't quite know if like all the cars are rented out, or if like the rental companies are like, no, we don't want foreigners to drive here. I have no clue. But yeah, so I wouldn't drive in a big city anyways, because these streets are like, no way. But yeah, just to keep that in mind, it might be hard to get a car. Also, while we were on Jeju, I had someone with me, so my sister and I did the visa stuff for Thailand together, because I was, as always, a bit nervous when it comes to this bureaucracy things. And yeah, it worked out a lot faster than we thought it would, because it said like it would take up to 15 days, and I got it like the next day. So this one was even more nerve-wracking than the Korean one, because for the Korean one you just type in where you're staying, how long you're staying, and like all your information from your passport. But for the Thai one, because they really don't want you to stay longer than you're allowed to, you have to give them a lot of things. You have to give them your passport, you have to show them where you've been the last year, so you have to take a picture of the first page of your passport where all the stamps are from. That was a really wrong thing to do. Where all the stamps are from the countries you went to in the last year. You have to tell them where you're going to live, you have to tell them for how long, you have to show them your flight information and send them a picture of that. You have to show them your how much money you make, or you have to show them how much money you have on your banking account. And all of these, there's a lot of things you have to give to them, which is absolutely fine. And I understand why they want that, because they don't want people there that will just stay there and don't go. Because apparently that's a problem, as far as I've known. And it's not a problem for Bangkok, it's more a problem, I think, in the north somewhere. There's like a, let's call it a hippie community, so people do that because it's warm and it's kind of cheap to live there, so people are fleeing. This is the absolutely wrong word, but they're like, yeah, they're just staying there even though they shouldn't. So yeah, but because I wanted to stay longer than the normal 30 days, because for 30 days as a German you can just go in and don't need a visa, you can just stay there, but I wanted to stay longer, so I had to get this visa. And yeah, now I'm allowed to stay 60 days, I am not allowed to work, which was fine. And my whole trip to Thailand will be 53 days, so I'll have my place in Bangkok for 53 days, but I will travel up north, and over Christmas and the New Year's my mom will come and visit me, and we will go probably to one of the beaches. And on the 22nd of January, I will take a bus to Cambodia, which I will have to book soon. So the next steps are booking the bus to Cambodia and booking somewhere to stay in first Siem Reap and then Phnom Penh, and then we're going to Vietnam. So yeah, that's the next upcoming things. And I think the vlog might get more interesting once we're somewhere, or I am somewhere, where I've not been before. Because right now, Busan really feels more like being home and not having to work, so. But I like it here. I realized that I prefer Busan to Jeju because it's nice to have the city as well. I think at some point I would enjoy living somewhere where it's more quiet and where it's more like a tiny village. Right now I'm quite happy being in a big city and having the chance to go to a lot of cafes or to go shopping or whatever. But also the most important part is the ocean over there. Without the ocean, this wouldn't be as good. So, yeah. And last but not least, another tiny story you might have read on Twitter. Yesterday I went to the second famous beach here in Busan, which is not as pretty as Haeundae. Definitely not. I just love this beach. Yeah, but I was sitting in the train and I was like flanked by Koreans, as it is. And suddenly the older gentleman next to me realized I am not Korean and started talking to me. And I was like, what? My brain just fried. And I understand that he asked where I'm coming from, so I said Tokyo, and then he asked if I'm a student, and I said 학생 아니요, which is already not really nice because I used the wrong politeness form for someone who's older than me. And then my stop came up and I just got up and I said, well, I have to go now and bye, and oh dear God. I am so sorry. I probably came off as rude, but I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Why is someone talking to me? Why I have to go out. So yeah, social awkwardness is always good when you're not able to speak the language as well. Well, almost. yeah. But yeah, otherwise the sun is shining, but I'm not really in the mood to go exploring now. So I will pack my things, I'm going to the ocean, and I'm going to read. Because I want to finish the book I read while I was on Jeju. I didn't take my Switch, so that I would read, and I read, and now I want to finish the book, and I'm going to do that at the beach. So I might take you with me, I might not. This might be the last thing for this vlog. So anyways, because I don't talk normally, see you in the next one, and feel free to tell me what you want to see or whatever. I always feel like I don't want to show myself, but on the other hand, it gives it more character. I don't know. I don't know. Let's not think about it. Let's go to the beach. Bye.
Yeah.